I've always said to people, like, there's never a good time, but that doesn't mean that you can't do something. I think so often people don't ultimately go out and do things like start a beverage company or change careers because they feel like, they don't have experience. They have plenty of doubts. There's a million reasons. And, in my case, I had 4 kids under the age of 6. There's not only did I have my own doubts, but also I had all these doubters. So the title of my book is Undaunted: Overcoming Doubts and Doubters. I mean, I've always said to people, like, there's never a good time, but that doesn't mean that you can't do something. And so I think that the concept of building the airplane while you're flying it, obviously you want it to be safe. In our case, with our product, we're selling it to consumers and they're drinking it. We don't want anybody to get sick or die. I mean, we were always really careful about that. But I think that something I learned in the tech industry, which is still true today, which is very different than other industries, that there's always going to be a better version, right? So often they call it upgrading or 2.1 or whatever, they call it. And so I learned in the tech industry to actually get something out the door because we want to not only get it out the door and try and get some revenue on it, but also go and learn from consumers. And so while an engineer is, working on things that won't be ready for months because maybe the technology isn't quite figured out yet and it's going to take a certain amount of time, in addition, you might learn that people like the color red on a bottle versus blue or something, and how, maybe the label is like the wrong feel or something like that. What I didn't realize that I was bringing into this new industry was that because I was asking lots of questions and because I had, grown up in a world that was always like, yeah, it's pretty good, but we can always do better. That's like a mindset, right? That's a mindset that you bring into an industry. When you look at banking or you even look at consumer products, I mean, look at, Diet Coke or Coke overall. Like you launch a product or they launch a product and then it sits there because it's selling. Right. And then they don't change it until sales go down. And when they do decide to reformulate it, it's a really big deal. It's like, oh, they're changing it because like it's about to die, right? Like instead of actually saying, oh, this is the new version. I mean, you look at Apple, Apple's got, I'm sure there's an iPhone that's coming out in 2 years from now, right? That is just like sitting in a back room that some engineers know about, right? Like it's in the tech industry. That's just how they think about things. And that's just how ultimately products are made. And so I didn't realize that I was bringing that and asking lots of questions about the consumers and reading emails from consumers. But, just by asking questions and not having experience in this industry, it just was super, super helpful.